Now that we've seen how to take the before photos, here's some inspiration on some after photo examples. So this one here, the eyes have been whitened, the skin has been smoothed lightly. This one here has had no skin smoothing, so we want some nice blending. More of my students' work, very light smoothing of the skin, no editing of the lashes at all. Same with this one, very light photoshopping of the skin. Be careful that we don't come across any photoshopped lashes, otherwise you'll be instantly disqualified. Okay, so this is a beautiful set, beautiful blending, no big gaps in there, very light skin smoothing and whitening of the eyes. So here's a good example of a good after photo of the full face that we require. Try and get as much of the face in as possible. Here's another good example of a full face after photo. Some student classic work. So this photo has no editing, but there's good lighting, there's no big shadows, and it's a very clear photo. So if we zoom in, we can still see how well you've applied the lashes and the quality. Okay, another set of classic, no sorry, this is volume lashes. Full face example, single eye example, a very light smoothing of the skin. Here's another example. So make sure we can see most of the extensions. Don't go too straight on, otherwise we can see just the tips and it won't give us a very good representation of your work. And it won't give you a very good representation of your work. Okay, so ideally you want the model looking straight ahead, but slightly to the side is okay. And make sure that there's no big gaps. The lashes are all as straight as possible. Make sure you brush the eyebrows as well, that's a really good tip. So here's a good example of some volume lashes. I think these are 6D from memory. Kat, my master stylist, did these lashes. She's also going to be a judge on the day. Okay, and here's the before and after. This probably isn't such a good example of the full face. We want to see the full face, not just the cropped area. So there's a good example of the single eye. So for me, if I was judging this set of lashes, I would expect to not see that little lash that's hanging down there. So make sure you take off any lashes that are drooping down. That way you're not going to lose any points. So a tip to find a good lash model is make sure that they have fairly good lower lashes as well. Make sure they have good eyebrows. You want them to have a full natural lash line to prevent any little gaps occurring. How to choose a good model. You want to make sure that their lash layers are quite close together. That way there's no jumping of the fans or classic lashes. You want them to have beautiful eyebrows to frame your work. Look for a really good lower lash line. So if they have really good lower lashes, their upper lashes are probably going to be quite good. Another thing I can see here is if I was judging this set, I would have expected the entrant to take off that lash there that's hanging down. So make sure when you're submitting photos, check to make sure they are as perfect as possible before handing them in. We don't want to see any droopy lashes, any lashes at the end sagging down and no big gaps. We want to see a nice smooth blending around the edges as well. If you have any other questions, write them below or email us at lashcomp@brisbanelashes.com. Good luck everyone.